Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin Mari here today with another Action Taimanin video. We have Tak on the line with me, and we're looking at his account today. We're going to be talking about awakening. So we're going to look at Tak's account because I will not be awakening anyone until I have Kirara here with me. She's going to be the first one I choose to awaken. So, without further ado, Tak, take it away. Let's go to the menu. Yeah, look at her. She's so cute. Look at her. Cute little sag. I love that skin so much.
Yeah, I kind of fell in love with it too.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So these are the things. So this is the thing we're going to be talking about mainly.
Alright,
Basic,
so,
basically, people like I've been seeing quite a bit of people like what to put in for their characters and such. Now we'll get into that in a little bit, but the big thing about the awakening skills, I think what I told Mari when I found out about this is that any character that is awakened. So for example, Asagi, Murasaki, and Koronai are awakened, they will get the bonus passive stats. Basically, this opens up like, for example, the increased damage of 6% is level 3. Those three characters will get those bonuses. It's the same thing with the crit rate. Increased critical rate with melee. All the melee characters will get the crit rate. So it's basically like it to me it basically encourages players to awaken in multiple waifus instead of just focusing on the one, because if you awaken multiples of them, you start getting, because the only way you can get these points, these WP, is to awaken them basically.
yeah, that makes sense. So there you go. So that's one thing, like, you want to awaken more than one person. So I think what I'll do is I'll awaken melee waifus since I want to go for Kirara first, because I do still think she's a melee.
She is most likely melee because
Yeah.
from the gift, yeah, she beats the ass of that one soldier. So yeah.
And for those who aren't sure, it says it right at the bottom of the screen. Like, it says awakening skill applies to all playable characters. So you guys know Tak is like, he's right here. Like, so if you awaken say Asagi and you get your increased damage to all characters, and I'll go ahead and you awaken your Murasaki, she's gonna also have that bonus. That's really neat too, because that means like you can make your characters really strong if you like awaken a bunch of them.
Yeah, the only thing I would say though is that if your characters are not awakened, so these characters, Renko, Nui, Yuki, Sue, no, not Sue, fucking Sakura and Asaka, they won't get the passives because they're not awakened. They have to be awakened first in order to get the awakening passives.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. That's fair. It's rough though, because yeah, it stops you at 3 stars, so they can actually get stronger. Because that's another
Yeah,
thing we noticed. You can't awaken her anymore, can you?
no, because like if we go back here, you'll see here that like the awakening right here is not here. When you go to like someone like Murasaki, it's right there. Like you can awaken her again. But yeah, like I can't awaken like literally the cap for levels for characters like right now is basically 81.
All right. Yeah, so that all makes sense. It's pretty easy to understand. Because like I said, I haven't even seen this screen yet because I haven't awoken anyone, so I don't even know what's going on here. Let's so
So you're
let's
probably gonna want to take a look at them one at a time.
yeah, let's talk about like what we'd suggest, and then I know for a fact I would suggest battle stance. I think everyone should take that. Increased
Yeah,
damage dealt to all enemies.
it's basically a red Namataga. It's to me basically these kind of like basically they're like Namatagas, but like they're passively built in for the character. Like they're not equipped to the weapons.
Yeah, that's what they seem like. The other ones, so we have like machine specialist, demon specialist, human specialist, and then arena offensive. So those are kind of like all the same thing. Like, machine specialist is for machines, humans is for humans. Demons deals more damage to demons, and then arena offensive is for those in arena. I'm gonna say this, I think any arena abilities we can kind of ignore, like if you're in global, because there's no way we're gonna beat the Japanese players.
No,
They're so
these
far
are
ahead of us that it's just like no reason to really try to spec into it.
yeah, like literally if anything, I would prioritize this and in whichever like for example, if we get another tower and then the enemies have like for example like for example, if Oboro was human in the first tower, but if we get a second tower and she's no longer human, but she's a demon type and she's having trouble problems with it, it might be wise to like invest like demon specialist just to get rid of her if that ends up becoming the case, or like any bosses that, like for example, the demon ninja people have a problem with, then like speculating into this would be good. This is also good for all types, so they covers you all around.
Yeah. I'd say go for battle stance first though, just like cuz I don't know how much it's going to take to max these, but when you're first starting out cuz that way you'll get that damage to all things right away.
Because right here is 1 point to get this basically. So for example,
Yeah.
I have four
How
points.
much does battle
I get
stance cost? Like from level
For
3?
me, look, it's gonna go to 4, so it costs 2, and it goes up to 8. If you could kind of tell, like the specific types, it gives you 6% right off the bat. This is level 3, and it's all like it's basically already the matches these basically.
Yeah. So but yeah, those other ones though they're going to give you more cuz it's only for one type.
Yeah, it's only one specific type, which makes sense.
And then another thing I'd suggest doing, and this depends on how you play, if you don't mind scrolling down like just a little bit. Yeah, right there. So if you look at these, we have like melee offensive, and then we have ranged offensive, and then we have critical chance melee and critical chance ranged. And then if we have critical damage melee, and then if you scroll down like a little bit, we have critical damage ranged. So depending on your play style, like if you're mostly using ranged characters, you can also go for the ranged perks. And then vice versa, if you're using mostly melee characters, you can start buffing them with the melee offensive and the critical rate for melee. Like you can see Tack plays a lot of melee, so his melee critical rate right now is plus 12%, which is really high. Well, you could get that to
Yeah,
14%. That's actually a lot of
yeah,
crit
about
rate.
yeah. It's like it's already basically guaranteed 12% for me, and plus, if for most people that don't realize, this also right here goes as well.
Yeah, so you have
Like
like right there 25% crit before anything.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
if
and that
you add
doesn't
if
even
you do
include
add
the non
divide your
sagas
crit
yet.
up, like you have 12k crit, so you probably crit like all the time.
Yeah, like that's like for like characters like probably like Asagi, Sakura, like they rely on crit a lot. So yeah, it kind of helps a lot for them.
So I'd say the critical perks are good. Just make sure you know what you're doing them for, because I think at the end of the day, it may be possible for us to get like most of these perks or probably all of them maxed. But for the earliest ones, you want to make sure you're focusing your main character. And if you mostly use melee, then focus for that character so she'll be overpowered. And you have a good time with her.
Yeah, yeah,
What
like
else is
if
there?
Mar like if you were awakening since you were playing Yuki and you were using Emily, this would have been more effective for you since you had two range characters for the tower you were using.
Yeah, but Yuki's just a placeholder till Kirara.
All right,
My
so let's go to
queen.
the next one.
Kirara's everything. Alright, so what do you
This is the
think of
next one.
leadership?
Um, Leadership, it could be good depending on the supporter though. Like it lowers the cooldown by 2 seconds, but like it goes more obviously because there's more levels towards it. It could be good for certain supporters, but I would probably would go for the offensive for like go for the offensive tree first and probably go for the defensive tree after. Then you can go for this because I
Yeah,
think it's like yeah, like it's good and all. Like yeah, if you add the cooldown supporters, the two supporters that reduce the cooldown of the active of the supporter, yeah, that adds more cooldown. But uh, I think it works, but it's very niche for the certain supporters. I think.
yeah, I think those people who have Shisui should use this
Yeah,
one.
like
They could just
yeah,
have her
like
cooldown be like almost nothing in arena and just like keep spamming her. Because they use like
oh god,
Haru and Mitsuki as the cooldown reduction, and then they
yeah.
use this ability and like get it as high level as they can, and just like Shisui will just literally always have her freaking invincibility, which would be so cheap. But I
Not to
don't have
mention if they
Shisui.
have
That's pay to win.
not to mention that they will have the library girls passive too, so they'll be
Yeah,
tanky as well.
if they're from Japan, because I think they still need that machine waifu to get it. The library girls.
No, I think the library girls is Marion and another like a rare supporter, I think,
Oh, oh.
or an SR supporter.
But you need Shisui,
She's
so yeah.
Yeah, she's always the big pay block basically.
And so now we're gonna look at the defensive stuff. Obviously, like I like on the defensive because that's good, especially for something like tower because it's gonna reduce all the damage you take. But I still think you should probably go for the offensive first, like Tax said, just so you can be doing enough damage to actually clear the tower. Because that's mostly what I want to look at these in regards to is tower. Because like I said, arena is like a shit show
It's
right
dead to
now.
most players.
Yeah, like for global players, arena's just like you're probably not gonna rank in there, and you just want to get to top class and like just farm coins casually. So that doesn't matter, and all the other PVE content right now is trivial because of the tower. So I want people to be able to make the best decisions in regards to that game mode. I like the machine resistant, the demon resistant, and the human resistant, but I'd probably go for like the all damage reduction first just to cover all your bases. And then depending on like if you're having trouble, like for example, a
Yeah,
lot of people got stuck on floor 35. They could have used that machine resistance there to like deal
yeah,
with
like for
Tempest.
Tempest.
Yeah. And then again, the arena defensive, like if you care about PvP, it's there, but like I don't think it's gonna like help you much when you're getting one shot by
Yeah.
some crazy whale. So it's like so easy to get the top class in arena that I don't feel like any of the arena ones really matter.
Yeah, like they don't really matter that much. And then of course you have reduced damage taken by certain enemies basically right here.
Exactly, yeah, that's good. So like melee damage would be reduced, and we have range defensive, and then it looks like we have crit evasion for melee and ranged, which is that's
I
actually
don't
pretty
know.
neat because it
Yeah, like
reduces
these are
their
pretty
crit
neat.
rate.
Yeah, because I was talking to Ark, what do you think about the crit or reduced crit rate? And he basically said it's mainly like for PvP because of, like obviously there's gonna be a lot of like characters that are gonna be going like pure crit builds, which I can see why, but do you know that the the AI units, the CP units, can hit you for crit?
Yeah, the enemies in the tower can crit you because
Okay, so
those
yeah, like
ninjas
this
were
can
critting me
actually
for like
help.
900 because you can see their number if they hit you
Oh,
really hard, and it was like orange. I saw it when I was doing videos for towers. So like these work in tower because the enemies can crit in there. So reducing their crit rate will make it so they don't just smack you in the face for a million damage. That's part of the reason why later tower one shots people is because the enemies are actually critting them.
like they have like a high base crit rate
Yeah, their crit
than
gets pretty
most.
high. So I could see
Yeah, and
that
then
being
always
useful later. What's this? Reduce critical damage. Yeah, those are also good because it would just make their crits hit for less if they crit you. Like these aren't
yeah.
something I'd go for first, but like when you're getting
No,
towards the end of the tree, I'd start putting points in there just to have it. It doesn't hurt.
yeah, because like everyone's gonna want to go for these. Like these four are gonna be your priority, and then depending on what your play style is, then yeah, you're gonna go for these ones specifically.
Yeah, I can tell you guys what I plan to do. Like if Kirara's melee, I'm gonna get her and Ingrid, and I'm gonna put all the points I can into the increased damage to all, and I'm gonna put all the points I can into like probably like melee damage or critical chance for melee, and just like go like full damage, and then slowly make them tanky as I get more points. Oh, so look, we're at the end.
Yeah, we're
So
already
what's this
seeing.
next one? Combat endurance. More HP isn't bad because a lot of HP will help in tower.
Yeah, it's especially the tower with harder contact. Yeah, it's gonna help you a lot.
And the healing effects, again, that's not bad because in tower you want to be able to heal and sustain. So, like,
Yeah,
this is good. Like, most of these are pretty useful. The next one, though, you told me that's a trap. The combat
I, I
mastery.
s- I- I saw someone putting 4 points into this already, and I feel bad for them just because it's like it's not that hard leveling up a character. Like, and the thing is, some people see this like, oh, increase like, oh, I could increase all my girls. The problem is, as I said at the beginning, they have to be awakened. So it's pretty much just useless because, like for example, if I get Sue or Emily or Obero, they won't get that. They won't because they are not awakened. That's the problem with it.
Yeah, it's not really a good passive because it's like it's only going to work for awakened characters. So yeah, it's really a trap.
Yeah, like this is probably it. This is probably if like I would say the ones that you literally don't want to put points on are this one, the PvP defense, and the arena offense. Like those are the ones I would probably say for most players, just like ignore them.
Yeah, I would just focus on like the base stats. Like, you know, it's up to you if you want to go tanky or if you want to go damagey. Because it's just like at that point it's your play style. Because I know some people might go for the defensive stuff first, but it's fine. Like, it's just how you want to build your characters. But yeah, I agree with Tack. I would avoid the arena perks because, like, arena to me is just, it's so dead. It's so done. It's done and over with. And then the
Yeah, and just
same
don't.
thing, like the experience up one is just kind of, God, it's so useless when you think about it. Because you're right, they have to be awakened to use it. And didn't you say like they're not that hard to level after you awaken them?
No, I thought that would be much harder, but no. Like, look, she's already like, look at all of them that have awakening. They're already like at the cap. Basically, they should be. It's not that hard leveling them up with, especially if, for example, if whenever we get our next set of events, just let's level them up there. That's just what you're most likely going to do with them.
Yeah,
That's what I did with the Sagis. I awaken her, and then I was like, actually, you know what? I'll do some of the events. Yep, she levels up like really quickly.
that's good to know. So,
Also, for some players that have the supporter too, like where is she? Where is she?
Wadarase?
Yeah, because like
She's right there. She's right there.
obviously,
She's right there by Felicia.
oh, some players will have her too, and then you could just switch the color of the build you're gonna run with. So it's like you kind of have this with you, so it's like you don't really need the XP at all if
All right, it looks like the.
you have
Are you there? Yeah, Tack.
if you
Tack.
have her, then you but I didn't even use water raw syphilis. Mari?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, some of the stream started cutting out, so I didn't hear like anything you said after Wadarase, but we're gonna stop it there because that pretty much covered what we wanted to say. But yeah, you can use your Wadarase to pretty much make up that experience up, so it is really not that great of a passive to go for. But I want to get out of here before my internet starts to crap out because, as everyone knows, it's a piece of shit. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Was there anything else you want to say before we end it?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. So there you have it, guys. Like that was a quick look at the Awakening system. We're gonna make more videos about it when Kirara comes out because I'll actually be awakening those characters. But this is pretty much like, you know, what Tak's been doing. I feel like he's been making the right decision, so I've wanted to have him share it since he's actually awakening people. And I hope it helps you guys out if you were curious about it because I do still see people asking about it. So, with all that, I hope you found it helpful or informative. Please like and subscribe if you did. You guys go ahead, have a great rest of your day. Have good luck in your gotchas and in the arena, and have good luck in your towers. I hope you're getting past the hard content. And with that, you boys and gals take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.